Hello and a big welcome back to my channel. Today we're in Washington, D.C. and we're going to take a look and walk around the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden. It is located in the heart of Washington, D.C., right dead smack in the middle of the National Mall. It is unmistakable, a fantastic design. There is a lot to see and do here, as you can see from the images coming across your screen. So let's get started and show you exactly what it has to offer. Just like all the other Smithsonian museums, you can see the hours there posted from 10 a.m. to around 5:30 p.m. Those are the hours of the museum, and it is super easy to get through because it is literally right next to a metro stop. So once you take the metro to the Smithsonian and you get off at the National Mall exit, you will see the Hirshhorn Museum. It is right next to the red brick Smithsonian building, so it's unmistakable, very easy to find. Now, you are looking at portions of the exterior sculpture garden. Remember, this is a museum and sculpture garden. However, the main sculpture garden is under construction and it won't be ready for some time yet, but there is still some sculptures available directly around the museum for you to experience. If you are an art fan, especially for contemporary art, then you are going to feel right at home here. There is a brief security check, but getting in and out of the museum is not a problem. Usually you are not going to find a line. And what you're looking at right now is the front entrance. And as you can see, it's not necessarily jam-packed, but it's not empty either. It is a well-visited museum. A lot of people like coming here. I can't wait to go upstairs and get started to show you what's here. Just looking at the museum from the outside, you can tell that it is a circular concrete structure. It was built back in 1974. However, it still has many new modern designs that really make it look much newer than it actually is. Many people who come here just love to be here, to sit and experience and be in the same room as great art. Some of the greatest artists in the world, especially in contemporary art, are here. And you can sit here. There's plenty of seating options for you to enjoy, say, a coffee or a hot or cold beverage. And there's a cafe right within the very first floor of the museum where you can enjoy your favorite drink and just be. Admittedly, the museum does not look like a large museum from the outside, and it certainly isn't a big museum when you compare it to the National Museum of Art. However, the museum has 60,000, I say that again, 60,000 square foot of exhibition space on the inside. Inner gallery, outer wall. For those of you who are not necessarily art fans, here's a big pro tip for you. I recommend you bring your phone, and here's why. You'll oftentimes look at a piece and you'll have no idea, no idea what the artist is trying to say. However, if you bring your smartphone, you can take a photograph of a QR code and you will be able to pull up information that will help you understand what you're looking at. Most of everything in here is going to be contemporary art. In other words, it's going to require some advanced explanation for you to understand and appreciate what you're looking at. If you don't have a QR code, then there are a little bit of description to help you understand what you're seeing. Most people stand here, they take it all in and they try to make sense of it. However, if that fails, there are also people who are on hand to help you, and we'll get to that in just a little bit later in the program. As you can see, most of what you're going to be looking at is artwork that's going to be on the wall. However, if you look at the museum space, it's wide open. There are big hallways all throughout the entire museum. So it's a variety of artwork that comes in and goes out. There are security guard posts all throughout the museum. However, when it comes to them being able to help you understand or tell you about what you're looking at, that's not going to be a viable option at all. My ability to understand and appreciate artwork, especially contemporary artwork, is extremely limited. Sometimes you'll come into this room right here, and this whole entire room is an exhibit, and you can see there's a lot going on here. It's hard to be able to understand and put all this together into words, or to be able to even begin to understand what the artist is thinking about. I am personally thankful that there are people, sometimes paid employees, other times they're volunteers, who are here to help you understand what the artist is trying to say. Because it's very much a guessing game if you're not necessarily steeped in this type of world and environment. But many people here understand and appreciate what they're looking at. They oftentimes come with the express desire to see certain works of art. One of the things I found interesting about this museum is that sometimes you'll have pieces that you can actually bring into the museum, you put on a wall or put in the middle of the floor, and that's the artwork. At other times, they turn the entire canvas of the wall into artwork. This right here is, it's something that you have to experience in order to get a great appreciation of it, but it can't be moved. You can only see it here because it's ingrained within the wall structure. So it's not artwork that you can necessarily move from location to location. If you were to ask me, is this museum right for kids? I would tell you a resounding no. However, in the museum's defense, when I was there, I saw a fair amount of kids. I would say maybe 1 in every 10 people there were under the age of 14. And in talking to those kids, they seemed to enjoy the museum more than I thought they would. If you are going there to see a particular artist or exhibit, make sure you check the website, because some exhibits were not available and they were closed, and some people came specifically to see those and they were disappointed. If you're not into it, however the party that you're with is, and you just want to sit down and tune out, there is plenty of lush seating available. Normally, I don't spend a lot of time at a museum gift shop. However, I felt that this gift shop in particular was one of the most unique ones I have ever seen. And you can imagine that because you're in a contemporary art museum. So I thought the gift shop alone was worth, just maybe doing a little bit more filming here than I ordinarily would. It's a pretty unique gift shop. I recommend you go down to the basement level in order to experience it. In every video I make, I try to answer 2 questions. Is doing this worth your time and money? Well, the museum is free, so cost is not an issue. Is it worth your time? And it does take about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to walk through the museum. And in my opinion, if you're an art enthusiast, then clearly you're going to get a greater sense of appreciation than, say, someone who is a novice. So it's really mixed, but I would say for most people, if you're visiting Washington, D.C. and you have a limited time and art is not your thing, I would skip this museum and do something else.